Probably going to feel pressure in your ears, and that's normal. So just go ahead and you can yawn, chew gum if you have it, whatever it takes. So when we get down there, first stop, I'm going to take you inside of a diversion tunnel. I'm going to tell you a few things about the dam, how they built it, and how it works. Then we're going to come back to the elevator. I'm going to take you to the power plant and talk about all the different things that you see in there. It's a pretty small group. I think I can keep track of all you, but just make sure you're not wandering around the tunnels on your own. We are a federal facility and a working power plant. Now, as far as taking pictures, we've hidden all the super secret stuff, so you can take as many damn pictures as you like. There you go. Okay, guys, we'll be down there in just a moment. How's everyone doing? Enjoying your vacations?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so here we are. Just watch your step as you get off the elevator, and you're going to follow me to the right. Okay? Right this way.
96 construction-related fatalities. We'll talk about that upstairs. 29, 30.
So we're walking through some kind of tunnels right now into the dam.
Straight ahead, right down those steps, okay? Right that way. Right down those steps for me.
Go ahead. Ah, look at that. They call this the diversion tunnel inside. And this is where the water goes through the giant turbines. Makes the power, the actual power right here. So yeah, it's pretty big, really inside the intersection.
Good on that? Okay, so welcome once again to Hoover Dam. This is a map of the Hoover Dam site, and this is where we are. We are standing inside of a diversion tunnel. So when they began to build the dam, they needed to find a way to move the river from the construction site. So they did that by building 4 diversion tunnels. There's 2 on the Arizona side and 2 on the Nevada side. They're 50 feet in diameter, about 3/4 of a mile long, and it took them almost 2 years to completely blast out all 4 tunnels. So once the tunnels were finished, they had to figure out how they were going to force the river into the tunnels, and they did that by building coffer dams. A coffer dam is a temporary earthen dam, and it creates a dry area where they can do construction. So they built bridges across the river, and about every 15 seconds, a truck would drive across and dump all that debris from blasting out the tunnels into the river, and that's how they started to do that. So the upper one was built upstream, and that forced the river into the tunnels, and the lower one was built downstream. This one keeps the river from flowing back into the construction site. So once those coffer dams were finished, they drained the site and they removed 135 feet of loose rock debris and silt to get down to the bedrock, which is the dam's foundation. That took about 7 months. So once they were finished with that, they were ready to start building the dam. June 6, 1933. So they had buckets carrying 8 cubic yards of concrete, which is 16 tons. Those were delivered every 78 seconds. They did it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 years. Once they were finished building the dam, then they were ready to begin filling up the lake. And they did that by closing off 3 of the diversion tunnels, by lowering heavy steel gates. They did leave one tunnel open, that way the river could continue to flow back downstream. So once the water was high enough, they did close off that last diversion tunnel. They blasted out the lower coffer dam, that way the river moves more freely as it's traveling downstream. But the upper coffer dam, it still remains underwater today. It took a total of 6.5 years to completely fill up the lake. So how do we get the water from one side of the dam to the other? Intake towers, and there are 4. There's 2 on the Arizona side and 2 on the Nevada side. They're 395 feet tall, and they sit up on 250-foot rock ledges. So the water flows down through them into 30-foot diameter penstock pipes like this one that you see out the window. So you may feel the floor vibrating beneath your feet, and that is up to 96,000 gallons of water per second flowing through the pipe. That would be enough water to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool in just 7 seconds. Then the water flows down into smaller 13-foot diameter pipes that leads to the generators spinning the turbines, and then it flows back down the river. Last thing I'm going to tell you about are the spillways. They're on either side of the dam, one on the Arizona side and one on the Nevada side. And they were built to keep floodwaters from going over the top of the dam. We've used them twice. Once in 1941 for testing. So when they first filled up the lake, they overfilled it on purpose. Thank goodness they worked, because in 1983, we did have a flood. There was a heavy snowmelt up in the Rocky Mountains. That's where all our water comes from, and all the conditions were just right that year. So here's a picture from the flood of 1983. This is the dam right back there. The water ended up cresting within 7 feet from the top of the dam. That is way too close. So when this flood was occurring, water was going over the spillways for 63 days in a row. That's about the equivalent of 2 Niagara Falls every single day. So the water goes into the spillways, through the tunnels, around the dam, and then safely back into the river. All right, the next stop on our tour is going to be the Nevada wing of the power plant.
So we got some areas here in the tunnels that are wet with water. So they got the ceiling, they have some stuff probably from little particles of rock and stuff coming off of it. This is some down some corridor, emergency exit.